Good afternoon-ish, depending on where you are. Depending on when you hear this. Welcome to the TV Time Machine podcast. I, as always, am Luis, and I'm joined by the fantastic. I just ruined it because I'm supposed to say I'm Luis.
And I'm Adam.
And we love TV. Damn it. Adam, how you doing?
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Midweek,
Yeah.
it's a Thursday.
Finished up my open writing assignment the other day. So
Open writing assignment. That sounds
glad to have
juicy.
that screenplay off my things, my daily things I'm doing. So
I'm in a second draft purgatory right now. But that's okay. That's okay. You get through it. Sometimes you just don't want to write, you know? You know it's in your head and you're like, can you just leave my mind and jump on the page?
I rewrote the ending of this. I rewrote more than half of this. Because everything is so cause and effect in my scripts, you know, that like I can't just change the ending. I have to like change all the things that people, you know, slowly set up to get to the ending or whatever. So yeah, I rewrote it 6 times. And
oh yeah. Sometimes that's fun, and then sometimes it's not fun.
Yeah.
I basically went through and just bare bones the hell out of it, and said, if I want to film this, I want to film this like I have no money to film it. Just the equipment and the talent, and that's it. And I think that's one of the mistakes most people do with indie films is they try to do the champagne dream on a beer budget, and that just doesn't work. You have to shoot with what you have, but it has to reflect itself in the story. So kudos to all the filmmakers that can pull it off cheap. But I'm glad you got your writing exercise done. I wish we had a superpower, which is I'm trying to segue into the topic. I'm not doing a good job of it. Pardon moi. But today we're talking about, this was your idea, so why don't you introduce it?
We're talking about shows with kids or teens with powers.
Awesome.
And while shows like Stranger Things, you know, are like seem very unique and, you know, like almost insular, right? Like when it came out, people are like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. There's nothing like this.
So amazing.
And it was like, yeah, that's because these guys grew up in the 80s with us, where like every show was about kids with superpowers.
Hell yeah,
and their friends, you know, who like are keeping it secret, you know.
Keep it secret with me.
Yeah.
What did you want your superpower to be as a kid? I wanted to fly. That's all I wanted to do.
I think I just wanted to be fast.
I thought you were going to say I wanted to be fat. I'm like, that's an interesting superpower.
I wanted to be fast.
Like you wanted to be like the Flash. That's adorable. I thought that would have been cool too, to be fast at everything, like sneak in and out. All right, so we're going to try something this week. We're going to actually step into or in front of the TV time machine and go back in time, but we need some sound effects, which will be added later. So let's step in front of the TV, Adam, and go for it.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. And boom, we made it.
Yeah, here we are.
So when you were thinking about kids with powers, what shows really stuck out? I know you have a list here. Awesome list here. I wish I was this organized. My God.
Obviously, or I don't know why I said obviously. I mean, depending on who's watching, obviously. Um,
Yes.
Small Wonder, Out of This World, um, My Secret Identity um, with the person we love to hate. Uh,
Who's that?
Jerry O'Connell.
I love Jerry O'Connell.
Oh wait, I'm confusing Jerry O'Connell with some
Scott
other
Scott
with
Baio.
Dean Cain. No, with Scott
Oh,
Baio. With Scott Baio.
Dean Cain
Yeah,
and Scott Baio can take a
yeah, yeah,
long walk off a
yeah.
short pier. Trump
Um,
supporting pieces of shit.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh yeah.
Keep
By
It
the
Real
way,
with
Melissa
Alex
Joan
Mack.
Hart stalking your ass.
Yeah,
We've talked about it before, but
it's been a minute.
um, Melissa Joan Hart has been following Adam for like 10 years,
Since like 2011. Yeah.
and she likes and retweets his shit. It's so bizarre. I mean, it makes no sense. I don't have a celebrity that ever liked me. I think Margaret Cho liked me once and maybe retweeted, but
Mm.
hey, you're doing something for Melissa Joan Hart. More power to you. I have to say I'm humbled with this episode because I'm not well versed with some of these shows. I'm not well versed with Sabrina. Um,
I'm not super well versed with it myself. Um, that was definitely a show that came out when I was more out in the world, more out in New York doing music and stuff like that. So, like my little siblings watched it, my younger siblings, but
didn't she have a sarcastic black cat?
yes,
And
yes.
then her mom was the
And
Karen looking mom.
yeah, that cat was the cause. I think we discussed this on our not spin-offs, crossover episode.
Oh yeah, he was a
That
cause of like
he
all those
was,
shows,
yeah,
right?
he tied them all together. He was like doing something with the space-time continuum.
Uh Great list though. I do remember Small Wonder. I remember the theme song, and it's about a family that adopts a robot little girl named Vicky, and she talked really annoying the whole fucking show. What do you remember about Small Wonder?
When I was a kid, I was like, so this is like the TV version of Daryl.
Oh, Daryl, I just bought that last year on Amazon
Oh
Prime.
man, I love Daryl.
Oh, I used to
Love
cry at
it.
the end of that movie.
I
You've
think
been
I
lost so long.
I always wanted to make a remake of it. I think they're making a remake of it, and I'm scared.
We could call it Feral and cast Pharrell Williams as a robot dancing R&B singer. Oh, that was a terrible joke. Small Wonder. Canadian or
Uh,
American?
I thought it was American, but maybe it was Canadian.
I think I always get that mixed up. So, what do you remember about it other than she wore a dress and she looked like a doll and she always talked, and then did she have an evil Vicky?
Her brother was like, I remember her brother being kind of like,
He was Weasley looking, that little blonde kid, right?
oh, he had dark hair.
Oh.
The Was the blonde kid the neighbor?
Yeah, I remember one Weasley looking kind of kid that kind of had
But
like a pressed face.
he just thought he was like, he thought he was really great, and um but he was constantly spewing information that was like false, or like it was like it was really good writing of like a child, because like most of the time, I feel like writers approach children and they write them as adults, where they don't say anything wrong, or or they
Hmm.
hype, or they make them hyper juvenile, and they're like playing down from their age, but like they never really hit that kid like mentality, right? The like, oh, I know everything because I think I know everything, because I don't know enough to know I don't know everything.
So was he in on Vicky's secret? Did he know
Oh
she
yeah,
was a
he knew
robot?
all about it. He would like have to shut her down and stuff, but he was always trying to teach her how to be more human and stuff. And I feel like he gave her a lot of misinformation just
She's
because. he was a kid and didn't understand things, he'd be like, oh, that's when the grown-ups were talking about that means da 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 da, and he'd be, and then laugh track, because all the grown-ups in the audience are like, oh, he's so naive, he has no clue what he's
She's like,
talking about.
"You're full of shit." God, I remember even as a kid that show was cringe though.
Yeah, it was definitely uh I just don't know how it got past the pilot phase without someone being like, all right, we need to tweak this. Don't make her speak in a weird robot
Yeah,
voice, like
that was not a good
just
trope.
explain. All you have to do is say like, oh, she has like the best whatever servos, like I don't know,
I don't know. The
robot
episodes,
jargon. I'm not a robotics.
yeah, the episodes felt a little
Engineer.
robotic.
Yeah.
The other one you have on here, I remember more, but also was turned off from it, especially since you showed me the pilot the other night.
Oh gosh, man. I did not remember it was gonna be like that.
Out of This World,
That was
strange fucking show.
yeah.
I still don't know all the ins and outs, but from what I remember, her mom got knocked up by some. Is that a terrible thing to say nowadays? Is that going to cancel me? Got impregnated, excuse me, by some
Well,
alien.
she had a relationship with him.
Oh,
It
and they
was
had
Burt,
like
it's Burt Reynolds,
gross.
which he was credited on the show as whatever his character name was,
Oh, he
as,
talked in the
as
movie.
him as himself.
That's weird.
And the reason, well, they had to do that because he was already on another primetime show.
Evening Shade, I hear, was
Yes.
supposedly really good. But so she would talk to her dad, kind of like Superman talks to Jor-El.
Or Mork talks to Ork.
Yeah, but he was off screen, and she was just basically this hybrid, right? Half
Mhm.
human, half alien. And she would get into high school misadventures and zap people. Her mom was constantly trying to keep it a secret. And it wasn't there like a
Yep.
neighbor figure that also knew? He was kind of
That's her
annoying.
uncle,
Yeah, he was
which
obnoxious.
is her mom's brother. Yeah. So obnoxious. And
And it was
the
in this,
behavior in that first episode was so pedo. Like,
yeah, pedo. I don't like that.
yeah.
And then it had that weird like dun 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 dun,
Mm-hmm.
right? No, that's
Yep.
just the 10 of us. No, it's
Uh,
would you
it
like to
was,
be on a
yeah.
star? Oh,
Carry
carry
moon,
moonbeams how high you are.
home in a
Oh,
jar. Yeah.
yeah. Or be ready.
Or would you rather be on Earth?
Or would you rather? Stupid show.
Yeah.
I don't know this one. The Secret World of Alex and Mack. Tell me about that. I don't know anything about that one.
Secret World of Alex Mack was um gosh, where's my
She got some chemical on her, gave her
yeah, she gets
powers.
like it's like the basic Marvel story,
Mm.
like toxic chemicals that we don't know what are the properties of are come in contact with a human and they are imbibed with
And
superpowers.
they get into your genes, and you have a really bad nightmare,
Yeah.
and you wake up and you're Toby Maguire,
Yep.
and you start spewing things out of your body, or can climb on shit, or hear things that are far away. That's so cool. Why couldn't it happen to us as kids? Super
I know, right?
strength.
But
Damn.
the yeah, this was the Larissa Olenek vehicle that Nickelodeon gave her after I believe she played Cosette uh, in Les Mis on Broadway.
Ooh. Now there's
Uh,
a superpower. Being a kid on Broadway, performing. What? How many
and
shows a week?
then yeah, and then John Marzilli, I think that's who he is. Who is gosh, who is he? I think he's the isn't he the villain in RoboCop? or he's
Oh
what?
yeah, the guy with the glasses, the bald-headed guy.
No, not John
No,
Marzali. I'm getting it wrong.
Marzali and Isles.
Um, I did not have enough notes for this show.
Oh, it's fine.
I just remember, yeah, one of the guys, he was like one of the henchmen in RoboCop or one of those 80s movies, but he was the bad guy on Alex Mack. So
Ooh,
it was like this weird departure from like ultra violent movies to like kid show bad guy, But
interesting.
it kind of made it better because he was kind of darker than you would think like a villain on a kid show would be, but or a young adult show would be, but um,
Interesting. Do you remember the Disney Channel's Not Quite Human series?
yes, yeah,
There was
the
three of them.
the films, right?
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
like
made for TV movies.
made for TV movies,
I
but felt
feel
like a
like,
series.
yeah, they did try to do a show
I think so.
of that, and it bombed horribly because they didn't have the same actor.
They didn't have Alan Thicke either. He was doing Growing
Yep,
Pains.
yep,
But I always remember thinking the sister was cute. And then I always
oh
remember
yeah,
thinking the robot, his name was Buddy, I think, or something dumb. And
yes, it was.
oh god, his name was Buddy, and still not quite human. Like by part three, it started getting kind of violent. Remember,
Yeah,
he had like a evil
yeah,
buddy.
and then part four where he was dressed up in the green suit and walking around Manhattan. That one was weird too.
Yeah, I just remember thinking these are cool. Why don't they just make this into a show? And they tried, and I failed. But fun fact: the actor from the Not Quite Human series went on to play or Johnny Storm in the
Yeah,
Fantastic Four.
in the Fantastic Four.
Roger Corman's.
Yep.
We have to take our first break. I'm gonna read sponsor reads, and we'll be right back and talk about kids with powers and talk a little Stranger Things gossip. It's not really going back in time, but it kind of is because it takes place in the 80s. So
Yeah.
we'll be right back.
Back. I feel like we're always talking about modern TV shows anyway.
It's okay.
Like tying them in or like, being like, oh, this show is like this show.
Let me stop